Good morning, everybody. I've been having technical difficulties, and that's why I haven't been on. I've been trying to get things done for you folks, and it's been challenging, to say the least. But today would be the 9th of April, and so I'll just show you the progress on the chair. Last time you saw it, it was solid gray. So after that, I went in with some black. I had second coated it, but like you can see, I went in with some black here and down around here, and I just put black in where I wanted it to come through in black, like in these little divots here and here. So I gave it a second coat of gray to get it good and solid, and then I went in with black and I put the black in places. And then once I was done putting the black in places and that dried and I was able to sand, then I went in with the white. And so, the look is, you can see that there's black that comes through in places, and then the gray comes through in places. And the way I've done it is meant to look, what do they call it? Distressed. So, there you have it. There's where I'm at right now. And now I need to urethane. So, urethaning, and then once I urethane, then I'll wax the cushions so they're soft. You can hear right now, hear it? It's a little bit rough. Can you hear that? So, once I get everything done, this is good to leave it like that while I do the detailing and the urethane, because if I accidentally drip something or go over and get it on my cushion, right now I can wipe it clean. So it will come right off. Although I've done a really good job about not getting anything on the cushions. Quite proud of myself that way, actually. But as soon as the urethane is done, then I'll go in and I'll sand those cushions again, and I'll get them all nice and soft, and then I'll go in with the beeswax, and I'll wax them, and that will be really soft. So I'll put that beeswax on, and I'll rub it in really good and buff it, and then I'm going to let it cure about 5 days before we actually start using it. And so that's where I'm at in the project. So now that's I'll show you the back side, because I don't know, it's the same deal, but there you go. There's the back side. There it is. All right, you guys, now I'm going to set you into the tripod, and I'm going to cut out for a minute while I do it, but I'm going to turn you around and set you in the tripod. And let's see. Move my coffee. Think you'll be able to see me like that. All right, I gotta get my cards. Oops, right? Oops. Normally I would have had them over here. All right, so good morning, everybody. It is just about, it's gonna be 6 o'clock a.m. here pretty soon. We got snow last night. Couple inches. Yesterday was my parents' anniversary, if they were alive. It would have been 67 married years for them. And yesterday it was snowing too. So it snowed, it rained and snowed mixed, and then we got some sleet, and it did that periodically all day long, and then it changed over to snow, straight snow, and did that for a while in the evening, and I don't know, probably till like 9 or 10ish here, and then it stopped, but it was cold enough so that it stuck. So it's really quite pretty out there this morning. I can't lie, it really is pretty, but I am ready for green grass, flowers, and warm weather, and no mud. I'm ready for no mud. This is going to make more mud. And it's already, I'm already like, it's awful. It's just awful muddy here. So I hope everybody's doing well. It is April, the month that we call April, the date that we call the 9th, in the year that we call 2025. Don't follow any links in the comment section of either of my channels from anyone soliciting you for anything or telling you to follow this link or that link for more information or more insights. Don't do it. It's scams. Don't do it. And next, the healing intentions are set for you folks as per the usual. So if you want that, decree it for your highest and greatest good only and always. And breathe that in through your nose and out through your mouth and just integrate the energy. All right, I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. And I'm going to use that Deviant Moon deck this morning to get us a card that best represents the energy of today. So what are we looking at today? We got the Wheel of Fortune last week, and it said something would come back around, be put in place. Something was going to end, something was going to be put back in place. And we got that on the 3rd of April. And so after that, President Trump came out and said the operation is over and the patient lived. So I think whatever he's talking about with the patient is over, the operation is over. That must have been what that Wheel of Fortune card was representing that day, that something was going to come back around and be put back in place. I'm wondering if that is our government, because during COVID, when he was still standing to the world as the president, you guys, he came out and he did a big speech, and I don't think most Americans picked up on it, but he came out and the general said, we're at war with the drug cartels, we're at war with COVID, we're at war, right? We are at war. So we were told then, and he continued to show that chart during all of his rallies with the arrow that pointed to April and saying that's when he left office, and that's April. He wouldn't have technically left office, right, until January. But it was April that they came out and said we are at war. So I believe that's when the soft military takeover of our government, when the military started softly run martial law, right? Started softly running things, but Americans didn't know that because they'd shit their pants. And so now coming out in April and saying the operation is over and the patient lived, could that mean that we, as of now, have a government back in place, and that, because he said the operation was a success and the patient lived, does that mean, well, let's ask before I get energy for today, does that mean that as of now, our government is actually like operating under a true government again and not under martial law? So I'm just going to ask that. I want to know. So you guys heard me babbling. What I want to know is, was that a hint that we're no longer under the military control of how the country is running, that the soft martial law in this country has ended, and that our government is actually a functioning government again? Please and thank you. See what that means. One more shuffle, and I'll cut them. Is that what that means? That's what that means. Secondary message was with that, with it being the devil. That's the higher arcana. Can you folks see it? The secondary message with that is that it's still tricky. So that would be my yes, that the soft martial law, that the government has been kind of put back in place, but it's still tricky. So I want to get a story around that, please. So it's still tricky. And that's what I was thinking, that it will still be tricky because things have to play out and look a particular way, right? So for those of us that have been kind of seeing things from this viewpoint, not the normies, but it's not like they're going to come right out and say, okay, we've gone back to the Constitution, blibbity-blee, blibbity-blah. Things are going to still be kind of tricky. They're going to play out sort of like a show with that devil card. So let's get a little story around that. Now, well, first, let me get the story laid, and then I'll just give you my babbling opinion. Hold on. Let me get these shuffled, and I'll get the story around the trickiness of the situation. One more shuffle. Well, no, I'm going to do 2 more shuffles. And now I'm going to cut them. And I'm just going to get a little story here. We'll do a 7-card spread. Something new's happening. Yeah, happy ending to the old story. Some tricks to be had. All right. So the story to this, as far as what I'm getting, you guys, and this is just what I'm getting, remember that. We don't get all arrogant and think we're always right. And I encourage everybody to use their own discernment and take from it what they will and toss the rest. That's how we do it. But this is what I'm getting, at least. I am getting the story around that is all of that other crap is behind us. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. It's early. It's only, right now it's only 6. I can't see the clock from here. I need new glasses. But it's like just minutes after 6 a.m. So the old stuff is behind us. Yeah, we've sparked into something new, but it's still going to look icky for a while. People are still going to, we still have to go through this, through a period of time where people are going to be unhappy, disillusioned, sad. It's still going to be tricky. They're still running tricks, but in reality, across from that, in reality, it's a very happy ending and a good ending for everybody. So that's the reality of the situation, okay? Now, above the fact that we still got to go through some things, they're going to make people feel badly and be able to not be able to really look at what's happening that's good. They're just going to be focused basically on the old way, the things that are lost, and things that are going to make them feel bad. So they're not going to look at the good stuff. Now, let's think about that logically. We already have people doing that. We have one side of the coin that looks at everything good and tries to flip it into something bad. So this is already happening, and what they're saying is that more of this will continue to happen. There's going to be more of that. And then right above that, we have a major arcana card. And, whoa, I've got the dropsies. The major arcana card that we have directly above that is the Hermit. And in this deck, it's like people are going batshit. I mean, they're literally going batshit. They've self-imposed themselves into this cave, right? They don't have to be there naked and alone. But they've imposed themselves there. So the Hermit thinks they know so much they're going nuts with it, or feels as though the knowledge is so overwhelming that they're going nuts with it. And that would be these people down here. So things are going to get worse for some, while I imagine others will be able to see. And the reason why I say that is because directly above our happy ending here, we have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is the mixture of the truth with lies. So one sword goes upward, it's straight up, it's got integrity, honor, it's telling the truth. And then in this deck, the Deviant Moon, she's holding a second sword, and it's sideways. And I don't know if you guys can see that because of the glare and the lighting, but there's a little bit of blood coming off of this second sword that's tipped sideways, right? So that sideways tipped sword indicates there are untruths, dishonesty, lack of integrity, and with the blood tip, like, done on purpose to mislead, hurt, whatever. So when you think of this reading in those terms, then you've got one side of people who are very upset, self-imposing themselves almost into a state of craziness. And then you have the other side of people who are looking for the truth and being very discerning and not allowing themselves to go batshit. So across from each other, you have the Hermit and that Queen of Swords. So the Hermit would, in this deck, where he's just going nuts, self-imposed into this cave, or she, or whatever you want to call it. It's self-imposed. They don't want to see. They're very upset. They would be listening to the lies. They would be listening to the lies and the things that are upsetting them. Okay? So, because the truth sets you free. So, if they were listening to the truth or being very discerning, they would go ahead and move right out of that self-imposed cave that they've hidden in because they're afraid and going nuts. So stay very discerning so that you don't go batshit crazy and self-impose harmful thoughts on yourself. Now our pathway, the energy that leads this pathway that leads to this whole story revolving around, yes, America's out of this soft martial law, and government is taking back over again, starting to take back over, but it's still very tricky. The energy of that pathway is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles leads with the highest and greatest good for all. She's like the king of rods, right? Only this is a very feminine energy. It's a very nurturing energy. So even though we have tricks that are going to be happening, we're being told with the Queen of Pentacles that it's done with love, it's done with nurture. There's a good reason for having to still have some trickiness to this. So if you look up, diagonally across from her, she's creating that happy ending with love and nurture. And if you look up diagonally from her to the other side, she would be what's creating the bloom on this rod, right? She would be what has created that new bloom. So all done with good intentions. Again, stay discerning because of the lies and the tricks that are out there. Don't allow this shit to make you crazy. Stay in the love vibration. Stay in the joy vibration. Project the world that you want to see. Trust. It's really what we have to do. We have to trust. So above the Queen of Pentacles, and of course do whatever we can physically, to make changes and make a difference, because I think they do want to see us getting involved in our own lives, which we should. We should. So right above the Queen of Pentacles, as she's what's moving the energy, right? She's the biggest piece that created the pathway, okay? So that's the energy that created this pathway, which is love and nurture and the highest and greatest good for all. right above her, we have another major arcana card, you guys. So we have strength. And so in terms of why would this be tricky? Well, there's still things, they're still trying to trip people and things up. So that would mean there's still issues. There's still issues, but the government is being put back in place. But there's still stuff that they have got to unwind, right? Because with this strength card, it's like, look, we're strong, and we're battling the monster, and we've definitely got this monster overpowered. But the monster has still got a tentacle out there, or a tail out there, and is able to do a little bit of damage, try and trip us up. So, in other words, with this, there's the reason for the tricks is because they still have some people out there trying to trip up things. And when we look above that, who would be trying to trip things up? Or what would be maybe tripping things up? Or what is it they have to make sure doesn't trip them up, right? And then right above that, we have leaders in power that are hoarders and greedy and, they want everything for themselves. And that's the way it is. So, in other words, there's still some traps that there's still things going on where they're taking some people down. And the some people that I think that they would be taking down, and that's why there's still, even though government is coming in and it's actually kind of working as a government again and not a soft martial law, what the trickiness is and what the deception would be all about would be catching, I believe these aren't the people at the top, but these are the minions. And so I'm going to ask that question, if those are the minions. And it's funny because I had something that I was going to say and I was going to ask after I laid the cards, and I forgot. So that tells me probably my answer is here in these cards. And I don't need to remember. So, anyways, that's what I want to ask. I want to ask if what they're dealing with now is those minions. Not people on the top, not, but the little people, like let's say my governor. They're putting the tricks out there for people to see, that type of stuff. The normies have to see the greed and the crap that's been going on within their government with these little people, because the normies think their heads would probably blow up if we talked to them about the cabal and whatnot. So I want to know if the tricks are out there to continue the education on people about the little minions that have been taking money, not caring about their constituents, and doing harm. So is that why it's tricky? Because they're going after the little guy now, but that's going to be done, but that can be done easily. So are the tricks about going after the little guys, like the governors and people in Congress and, those types of things? Please and thank you. A couple more shuffles. Please and thank you. Yep, that's the way it is. So all of the tricks and the deception, the trickiness to this, even though the government is kind of back into working as a government, the tricks, the deception, the things that are going to drive people nuts, the things that are going to seem downtrodden and desolate to people, it's all showing this stuff right here, you guys, with that 5, that chaos, about the leadership, those people in the smaller places in government, like your Congress and your Senate and your governors and, those types of people that have been making money, hoarding it for themselves, and not really working for their constituents. So my yes was with the death card. Yes, that's what it's all about right now, is showing the people what these little monsters have been up to. So the death card also shows that, they are moving they're moving this little baby out of the way, right? It's like, I know you've been nursing off of me for 2 years, but now it's time for you to move because I'm about to give birth. There's another baby coming in. So you got to move out of the way so that we can nurture this new baby now too. So when you think of that in terms of this reading, what is she going to do? She's going to move the old way out. So these old governors, these old congressmen, these old people in the Senate, and on and on and on, they've got to move. A new way is going to come in, but first you've got to move that old out. And so that's what we're seeing right now. But how are you going to move those old people out for the normal people that haven't been down a million rabbit holes and haven't been awake forever? How do you do that? Well, first you got to show them that there's some problems within their government. You got to show them all of that stuff. So makes sense to me, you guys. Now, I am going to get a reading. I'm going to get a card for the energy of today, but I have one more question, and then I guess we'll wrap it up after we do the energy for today. So, the question that I have, in observing all of this stuff for as long as I have, and especially seeing the spotlight be pointed at our old battle axe of a governor, oh, she's wretched. Blech. Makes you want to throw up. We've really got a spotlight going on here in my little state, which pleases me immensely because anybody that's old school, that's lived here, that has a bit of common sense and can discern anything and isn't completely brainwashed and taken over, knows that we've had some major shady shit going on in this little state for a long time in every town. I mean, right down to my little town, downtown. I mean, we've known it's shady. I'm telling you, there's shady shit. And, you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't think that, right? Oh, Maine small, the population, it's safe, blah, blah, blah. No. It's just as dirty as the rest of the world. We just haven't gotten looked at. We're only 3 little electoral votes. It's a split vote. You know, I think Maine often gets forgotten because we don't make that big of an impact when it comes to like the presidential elections and stuff, you know, because it's a split electoral, and it's only 3 little votes, and so I'd like to see that. I'd like to see this electoral shit go to the wayside personally, but that's another subject for another day. So, anyways, a spotlight is kind of happening with Janet Mills, and I think I told you folks either last week or the week before that in my humble opinion, my boyfriend and I believe that when she kind of went AWOL and no one could get a hold of her back in 2020, that's when she was taken aside, maybe had an ankle bracelet put on her and told her, you can comply and we'll let you live or whatever, you know. But go ahead and push through these nasty little agendas that you had planned and show your people. And, you know, I think she's under control. But we have to see it. Not me. I didn't need to see it. But I'll tell you, there are a lot of people in the state of Maine that do need to see it. Varying degrees of why. We have a lot of people from out of state that have moved here that are very blue in thinking and woke in thinking. And then we have a lot of people that still believe their Democratic Party is the party of the good guy. You know, they think they're looking at the Democratic Party of days gone by when, you know, JFK was president or something. And, you know, people that have just been duped. Now, we have a lot of good old boys and girls here in Maine that absolutely do not agree with these agendas, but may not be completely awake as to how corrupt our government actually was. So there's varying degrees of people that need to see it, right? And for different reasons. But to bring it all to the same goal so that people see how corrupt and how deep the corruption goes. So I think that's what's going on, and I think that's what's going on maybe within all of these blue states, blue-run states. I don't believe they're blue states. I believe there's a lot of middle of the ground, liberal-minded, conservative viewed, which means to me, like, we're not hateful and we don't want to see you have to live a particular way. That just because we live a particular way doesn't mean that you have to live that particular way. As long as you're not hurting anybody, right? Leave the kids alone. Don't hurt anybody. We're pretty fair people. You know, I don't see why gay people shouldn't be able to be married. Why the hell shouldn't they? Who the hell thinks they've got a right to tell two people that love each other that they can't get married? It's none of your damn business. Just put your own pants on the way that you put them on. Go about your life the way you put them on. A gay couple who is in love and wants to spend their life together should be able to do that and enjoy the same benefits of being married that anybody else does. And it doesn't impact us in any way, shape, or form. Like, seriously, people need to get over themselves. Pushing yourself onto anybody, your beliefs, your way of life, onto anybody, that's not freedom. And you know, like I said, as long as we're all not hurting each other, doing harm to none, there shouldn't be an issue. Live and let live. The issue is when it comes to the children, when it comes to harming animals, children, you know, things like that. But I think most of my state is pretty liberal-minded in the fact that, like, you do you, boo-boo, and we'll do us. As long as you don't overstep those boundaries, shove things down our throat, push your way of life onto us, and screw with our kids. You know, so I believe, yes, we're pretty open to not wanting to tread on other people's rights, but we do have enough conservative views so that we're not into this agenda, right? And I think that's how it is for most Americans, because this agenda is ridiculous. And so for these blue-run states, I think most of the people within the blue-run states would agree that this is a ridiculous agenda, right? I really do. I don't believe that just because the state is blue-run, that all the people within it think that way. I think it's a very small minority. So, what I'm wanting to know, and I may have asked this before years ago, whatever. It's been a long process, hasn't it, guys? So, what I'm wanting to know is with the tricks and the showing of the corruption within the smaller governments, you know, the little guy, the minions, that has to play out, is what we're seeing with, like, Maine being spotlighted and highlighted as an example of what not to do, because we're losing funding in every area because we are a dirty little state, because our governor is a dirty little creature. And so as the tricks and the attention and the information unfolds about how dirty we are, that wakes the people up more and more. But what I want to know is all of these governors that we're seeing that are still doing these ridiculous things, I just want to check in and make sure. I believe it to be true, but I want to make sure. Are these people that are left doing these horrific things, letting their agendas play out, are they under control of either however you want to look at it, the military, the white hat group? Were they left to play out this agenda just for this time, to help finish up this damn movie, to continue to show people, the people that may not have seen thus far, to show the corruption and how deep it goes within their own states independently? Is that why we're seeing this? Is this part of the show to wake people up? And are they under the control of still either the military or, you know, the white hats, however you want to look at it, that secret society working on humanity's behalf to clean out the garbage. Please and thank you. Yeah, they're under control. They are under control. That would be my yes. And that also, because they did that with the devil, that also shows me that, yeah, it's part of the tricks. But the next piece of that is, you know, very much they need to show how bad they were. And so I just want to make sure that I'm getting all of the message out of the one card. And so I'm just going to ask for confirmation. So that would be my yes. It's part of the show. They are being controlled and having their agenda move forward. These people are under the control of the military or the white hats. It's part of the trick, the trickiness. And it's to show, you know, how dark these people really were. And so, am I correct in reading that card and all of its messages aside of my yes? Please and thank you. Yeah, they're done. It's technically over. So that's my yes. It's finished. It's already finished. So it's like, look at it like this. The movie ran at the movie theaters and nobody knew about it. So nobody went. And then it gets put out on VHS. Nobody knew about it. Eventually, you know, it's put out on DVD and Netflix and all, however you choose to watch it today. And people are like, oh, this movie looks good, let's tune in. And so they're watching something that actually aired a long time ago. It was finished up a long time ago, but they're viewing it for the first time. That's basically what this 10 says. It's over. It's already finished. We're just watching the credits roll, thinking that we're actually watching the movie in real time, as far as these characters that are, you know, raining hell down on our states and our country. So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting there, you guys. And I feel like there might be a couple more cards. Yeah, it's meant to put people through it, disheartened. You know, people have to feel it. They've got to really feel the emotions that come with all of this. We don't ever move forward if we don't. It's all about the emotions, getting people to feel things. So protect your emotions. Like, don't be one of the ones that gets caught up in the emotional bullshit. People have to feel how they've been enslaved. They have to see the words with the three of swords, right? So they have to see they have to hear the words. They have to have the knowing. It's going to stab them right in the heart. It's going to create a lot of emotions with this Four of Cups, where people are like, they're going to really have to work to balance their emotions. It's going to be highly emotional. And, you know, it's because they're going to be seeing the bug on the back that's been enslaving humanity to one degree or another, and what they actually had planned for us. Anything more? The Star. The Star comes in, you know, walking between worlds, has to play this out, has to show this. Both sides of that coin. 17, that's my star. Don't worry, this is the point where we are on path, on point, and the journey is good. So 17 came in and switched things up for us, from being enslaved by these monsters that used everyone for their own benefit. People that were greedy, right? They came in. 17 came in with that star, and they created a path that is bloomed and plentiful, put us back on the right path. It's just that right now that path is a little sketchy. because it still feels a little dark, even though it's already bloomed all the way around it with this 7 of Rods in my deck. So, yeah, we're watching the end of things, so don't get caught up, don't get swallowed up in emotions. Don't be one of those people that do that, because we're actually on point, on path. 17's got this. This is a show. We're having to show people the true agendas of these little monsters. And they're down to the, being able to show people these, the shit that's been happening in their own state by their own governors and congressmen and senate and by the judges and, all of that. So, one more question. That was what I wanted to ask. So, that brings me to this point. So, we've listened to President Trump say over and over and over again, America first. And I believe there's 2 messages there, you guys. America first, America first. Well, we do need to start putting ourselves first. Because this country was crumbling under all of everybody working their ass off to give money to the government, for the money from the government to go to everywhere else that didn't take care of Americans, right? They're like, oh, let's take care of homeless people in wherever, while ignoring the fact that they had homeless people here. Do you know what I'm saying? So America first, that makes sense to the normies, right? And it's got to be a truth there to that. We do have to start taking care of our own here. And he also says every other country needs to start taking better care of their own. Notice how nobody takes care of their own within the countries. It's a sick system. It's been sick. So there's that messaging. But the other messaging, when I think about it, it says America first, Israel last. Right? Israel last. Saving Israel for last. So I wonder if that's also stating to us that we're going to see the change happen in America first, you guys, and then that's going to trickle out around the world. Now, we all know that the whole world is in this, part of this operation. It's not freedom for America. It's freedom for the whole damn world. And getting us out from underneath this cabal. Liberation, right? Liberating people. And that's what the Age of Aquarian is about. The Aquarian age is about freedom and liberation. Many people said, oh, the Age of Aquarius is going to be all about evil and darkness. Well, yeah, because there needs to be a spotlight on it to fix it, right? But the Age of Aquarius is about freedom and liberation and the work to get there. The standing up and working to get to the freedom and the liberation. So obviously it's going to be the age of evil that you can see, because evil has been going on forever. So it's brought out of the shadows and up to the surface and into the light so that you can see it, because you don't fix if you don't know what's broken, you're up not to fix it, period, right? So I'm wondering if that message in America first means that as soon as the ball really gets rolling in the positive here, it's setting a precedence. And that's what I said last week when, somebody got all pissed off at me because they don't like to hear, they don't want to be an American. Well, whatever, we don't want you to be an American if you don't want to be an American. Believe me, we've kind of had it up to, the ceiling with other countries not liking Americans. We've been dealing with that for a long time, lady. I mean, you're not the first. But I have to wonder if that means we really are setting the precedence of... We set the precedence and then the trickle goes out. Because we know things have to be done a certain way. They have a plan and we have to trust it. But am I correct in America first? You see the good stuff here. Although we've seen good stuff in other countries. I mean, we've seen stuff good things happening in other countries before we even started seeing good things here. While we were still under the Biden pretendency, there was some good wins in Australia. There's been good things going on, but I'm just wondering if like big good things, big, where you can really start to tap dance over it. If it will start here, we set the precedent so then they can start showing that to the rest of the world. Is that what I'm getting from this whole America First? Am I correct in assuming, that that's part of the messaging? It's the double message, and that we set the precedents, and then it's contagious, and it moves out from here to all the other countries where you folks start seeing good stuff. You know what I'm talking about, you guys? Because, like, I've always felt there was more than one message to that statement. So let's see if I'm right. One more shuffle and I'll cut them. I'm sorry, I babble a lot. Let's see. Oh, that card wants to fall. 2 cards want to fall, so I'm keeping them. It was sticking to my fingers. Let's pull this card here off the top. That would be my right. Yes, I'm right. So America First, that's part of that work to we start the visual work here, because this is all an illusion, right? So we start the visual work here first to trickle out to the rest of the people with that ember, to the rest of the countries that have leadership that would do anything to maintain leadership. So not that it hasn't already happened in your countries, but because we already know that this has been a worldwide mission. But the visual aspect of that, it will start here and it will move out. Okay. Now those 2 cards wanted to come. So my answer with the Emperor was yes. And then these 2 cards that wanted to fall, people need to start seeing clearly and knowing clearly. So in other words, be discerning in what you see and what you think about and what you know, because the proof is in the pudding if you walk out there and you actually take a look. So they want us to see, because we can clearly see that this is the truth they're saying with this Page of Swords, right? We can clearly see it. There's enough out there, information with the sword. There's enough information, there's enough words, there's enough knowledge, there's enough out there so that we should clearly know the truth and be able to fully see it with that help, with that seeing device. We're supposed to see. Spirit's helping us to see, right? And we should be able to see that this is taking place all over the world. Because with this King of Pentacles, he's holding the pentacle. The pentacle is the entire world. So we should be able to see how things have been changing all over the world just by looking at the leaders, because you've got the king, the leaders, and the worldly assets within your country, the assets, how they've been holding them, what's been exposed. There are things that are obvious for all of us to see. So in other words, don't get disheartened. Don't get all upset with the show. We're right on track. They told us we were on point and on path. So I hope that you found a little value in that. And now, as we end this reading, let's take a look at today's energy. The overall energy of today, you guys. What are we looking at for energy today on this date that we call the 9th, which is 9 completes things, right? 9 is the finishing of a cycle. So, and yesterday was the 8th, and the 8th has a lot to do with money and stuff. I wonder what went on yesterday. I've been so busy, you guys, I don't know, I can't. I didn't listen. I don't know anything from yesterday. I don't. It's been hard for me to keep up. I've been very busy. So let's see what the energy is for today. The overall energy. What can we be looking for Today, what is the overall energy? One more shuffle. Just want to make sure I've got them good. And we'll cut them. That one wants to fall out. This one wants to fall out. Overall energy of today, peace, harmony, simplicity. Simplicity. So love on your family and your friends. Do some work there to create a little balance in your own life. Pull in feelings of peace and harmony. And let's see why with these two cards. Why with these two cards? First one that fell out is that Ace of Swords. There's going to be some new information, something new, something taking place that opens people's crowns, you guys. So that would be something big, okay? If it's going to wake someone up and open their crown. So then right beside it, Page of Swords, information that's going to allow people to see some things. So work on staying balanced. They've been talking to us about tricks. One more card, please. Does that mean that today could be a bit tricky as far as people not necessarily liking the information that comes out today? Please and thank you. Could this cause some people to kind of lose their shit, get upset, get highly emotional, whatever the information is that will be coming forth today, that we have to be discerning and see clearly, that everybody will be seeing clearly something, but we've got to work to stay balanced. Does that mean it's going to be something that's turbulent or emotional? Please and thank you. The Queen of Wands, something turbulent and emotional, something a little bit dark. The Queen of Wands would be she's my queen. She's, but she can be real tricky and sometimes very dark. So that would be my answer. Yes, something dark will be exposed. Information coming out. Stay balanced. Look for it, you guys. I'm going to be super busy today, and I'm not going to be able to look for it. Because, you know, life rolls on, and I've got tons that I'm doing right now. I have this goal to get my kitchen chairs and my table done by the 15th of this month so that they can cure for 5 days before I use them when my son comes over for Easter. And that is, it's time consuming because it's a lot of detail work and just stuff, and on top of working and other things, like I'm not already busy enough. So I'm kind of behind. So keep your eyes out for me and let me know in the comments if you hear anything or know anything. I would really appreciate that. I couldn't find my urethane. I had misplaced it. So I haven't started my urethane process yet. So to stay on track, you guys, I did. I started my table. So I pulled my table down to where I'm doing all of the painting and urethaning and stuff. And I've got that coated. It got cleaned and sanded and wiped down and coated with primer, and then it got a coat of gray yesterday. And because it's a laminate top, you know, on those tables, you've got that kind of plasticky thing that goes all the way around that rim. I pulled that off. And last night, my boyfriend mixed together some Bondo. Oh, it's such stinky stuff, I can't stand it. But he doesn't mind doing it. So he Bondoed that whole edge. So today I've got to sand that and sand the whole table. Get a second coat of gray on. He will come home tonight and he will put a second coat of Bondo around that edge to make it perfect so that I can begin painting that after it's sanded really good. But if I can get the second coat of gray on that today, and then I can go in with the black and do the detail, just like I did on the chairs, and then I can go in with the white and do the detail. With the wood stove, things are drying pretty quick, so I should be able to do that. Because it's just the bottom piece, it's the legs and stuff that's going to look like the chairs. The top is going to be dry brushed. It's going to look different. So I should be able to do that today, and then should go pretty quick. Then tomorrow I can start urethaning the chairs and urethaning the bottom part of the table while I still work on that rim and getting the tabletop done. And then I'll be able to beeswax the cushions once they've had their 4 coats. And yeah, wish me luck, because today's already the 9th. And because it's tiny work, it takes longer. You know, it's when if I was slapping work paint across this bar, it would go way quicker than doing the chair. It just does. So anyway, wish me luck in getting it done by my goal. I love you all very much. I hope you found a little value in that reading. Know that, yes, America first, and there goes the world, right? Setting the precedence for the rest of the world. Things will be uncovered. Stay emotionally balanced today. Stay in peace and harmony. There will be some information that might rock people a little bit. But people like us should be able to step back and discern and know and see clearly, okay? So stay in that love vibration. Keep filling yourself up with it. See it going into the earth. See it filling the earth. See it coming up out of the earth and touching everything upon the earth. See it going out into the ethers, touching everything in the ethers. And then see yourself filled back up with it again. Laugh. Dance. Love deeply. Be in the attitude of gratitude. It goes a long way. All right, you guys. I love you all very much. Have an amazing and blessed day. I will see you all soonish. Until then, take care.